Yesterday's hearing was the beginning of a frontal assault on the Second Amendment by the Democratic Party. You got to put this in context. The hearing yesterday was attacking the Supreme Court decision in Bruin that said gun regulations have to be viewed from a historical perspective, that Americans historically have enjoyed the right to defend themselves under the Second Amendment, and any restriction on gun ownership has to be viewed from the lens of the history of the United States and the Second Amendment. And why do we have the Second Amendment? So you can defend yourself. When we, as a nation, were formed, we tried to change things. When you live under a king, you can't speak your mind. You'll wind up in jail if you offend the king. You can't assemble. You can't worship the way you would like. You worship the way the king likes. When you live in a autocratic environment, you don't own guns, the government does. You can't defend yourself. The First Amendment was trying to make America different, allowing individuals to speak their mind, to worship on their terms, that the government will not establish a religion, and also the right to bear arms. The Biden administration's executive order expanding background checks evades the American legal system to get a political outcome. Liberals will do anything and everything, the law be damned, to get their way. They tried to destroy Judge Kavanaugh personally to keep the seat open. It didn't work. This executive order by the Biden administration is going around Congress. It is an affront to the fundamental process we've created when it comes to constitutional rights. The hearing yesterday was setting the stage for Democrats to come after the Bruin decision. There's two decisions by the Supreme Court that have happened in recent years, pretty close to each other. The Heller decision said the Second Amendment is an individual right, John, that you have and I have and everybody in the country has to own a weapon responsibly. The Bruin decision said if you try to regulate lawful gun ownership, you have to look at an analysis historical in nature, because the Second Amendment was designed to allow people to defend themselves in dangerous situations outside their home. There's nothing in the Second Amendment about you can own a gun in your home and nowhere else. So the New York law made it impossible to own a weapon to defend yourself outside your home, and the Supreme Court struck it down, and here's what liberals want to do. They want to change that law. And if they get control of the Supreme Court, these cases will change. This is a concerted effort to attack the fundamentals of the Second Amendment as part of an effort to maintain control of the Senate, take back the House, and win the White House. To conservatives, this is a wake-up call. We need you. Understand what's going on here. So what is the Republican response on the Judiciary Committee? We're going to take the holdings of Heller. You can own a gun individually. That's a right given to you by the Second Amendment. And the holdings of Bruin, that you have the right to protect yourself by owning a gun responsibly, even outside your home, and make it part of federal statutory law. We have legislation supported by every Republican on the Judiciary Committee that will codify Heller and Bruin and make it part of the federal statutory law, giving you more protection when it comes to responsible gun ownership. We're going to introduce this bill today, and I'm urging Leader McConnell and all other Republicans at every opportunity advance this cause. Take on the Democrats now, because if you don't do it now, you regret it later. And there is no better spokesperson for the rights of Americans than Senator John Kennedy.
Thank you, Lindsey. You know, our founders really were geniuses. They came up with a system of individual states with rights and with state constitutions. But they also came up with a concept of an overarching federal government and a United States Constitution that would reign supreme. That doesn't mean that states don't have rights. What it means is that those rights exist consistent with the United States Constitution.